Hi friends, my name is Jake. Today it's Friday, September 17th, but you're not going to see this until maybe Saturday because I've got another medical appointment today. Had one yesterday. I'll make a little update video about what's going on with my health these days. Some of you are curious and I'll just do it separately. We're taking a look at this knife today. This is the Schnitzel 3. I know when I did the unboxing I called it Try, but in the Esperanto language it is tri. At least that's what the pronunciation guides say. We've got a kydex sheath. We've got a belt loop system like that. We've got a nice knife. Let's take a look at the knife. I think that looks pretty good. It comes in two colors. By the way, you can get Schnitzel knives at White Mountain Knives now, so get them for Christmas. You know, the Do is coming out with some extra colors, pink and purple. I don't know if White Mountain Knives is going to have all the colors. Probably not, unless the Schnitzel knives fly off the shelf. If you want to keep getting this is a German brand. It's made in China, but it's a German brand. If you want to get these fixed blades, Gear for Kids is what they're calling themselves, but this really looks like a full-size knife for just about anybody and everybody except for little kids. If you want them to stay here in North America, please go over to White Mountain Knives and buy some. Order these. Christmas time's coming much sooner than you think. And watch those videos for the Do and the Unu. Really nice little knives. The Do is for smaller children. It's a knife like this, but smaller with a blunt end, so it's safe. It won't puncture anything. The Do is a smaller fixed blade 14C28N bushcraft style knife or woodwork style knife, woodcraft, whatever you want to call it. This also has 14C28N and a kydex sheath. I think you're going to be interested. After this one commercial break, that's the only one we're going to have. The rest of the video is going to be full of the review of this knife. Keep watching. Okay, the designer of this knife is a guy named Torben. He works for, forgetting the name of it. It's on the screen. It's a knife distributing, manufacturing store. Not sure exactly all that is, but certainly it's a retailer for knives in Germany. And you can get all your Schnitzel knives there if you live in Europe. But if you live in North America, hey, White Mountain Knives is the place to go. They just don't have all the colors. So this knife is a full-size fixed blade. You know, the blade's a little over 4 inches long. The handle's right around 5. And it's a full-size knife that is comfortable even in my hands, and there's room for even larger hands in there. And my hands are just barely into the extra large range, between 9.5 and 10 in the European glove sizes. And Gear for Kids, now this is just good gear. Certainly teenagers, older teenagers, this would be great for. You know, post-puberty, before puberty, you know, boys and especially girls' hands would just be too small for this. But yeah, it's a good-looking knife. We've got a nice stone wash on here. Some jimping both for the thumb rest area on the handle and up on the blade. I really like that range of jimping. It's really well done. I guess I'm going to call it like a clip point because this line here is pretty much straight and it's not a curved clip, but it's not a drop point either. We've got a nice belly here, good straight section. This is a good general outdoors fixed blade knife. Will it work for puncturing things? Sure, but it's not a specialist for puncturing. But the belly on here, you could use it for skinning if you needed to because it's a nice arc, which what you like for skinning. You don't want a straight knife for skinning. And then this straight section here works fine for all kinds of different cutting. I did some batoning of kindling. That worked just fine. And Well, the battery died on my camera, so I'm not sure where I was. I think I was talking about the cut test that I did. I did some batoning. I only do kindling batoning with a knife. I don't do, big logs that are the full length of the blade. I use an axe or a hatchet for that kind of thing. But I did test it on kindling, cutting some sisal rope, cutting plastic, cutting cardboard, cutting wood, hardwood, softwood, all kinds of things on cut tests that I do. It did quite well in the cut tests. I was quite happy with it. I was also talking about the blade shape and bandits on a barking spree. I'll be right back. I was talking about the blade shape, and then I started talking about cutting tests and stuff. The blade shape, back to it. I talked about most of it. The sharpener's choil, it's pretty much perfect for a knife. It's past the plunge onto the main bevel, and it's not too big, not too small. It's a very well done sharpener's choil. Stonewash finish. The writing on the knife right there, it says SANDVIK 14C28N. Right there is the designer's mark. His name is Torben. Didn't catch a last name from him. He's from Germany. And Schnitzel right here on the bevel. At least it's just sort of a grayish and not a very dark. I wouldn't mind if it was smaller and put up there on the flat. I like having things nice and small. Let the knife speak for itself. And, certainly put your brand name on stuff, but I prefer brand names and things made a little bit smaller, but this isn't very bad. I don't mind it much. Handle, they are G10 slabs. We've got hex screws on here. What did I forget what they are. It's either 5 or 6 millimeters. Metric hex tool Allen key that you need for that. Talked about the jimping up here. You go around the knife, you've got a lanyard hole, which is quite nice, in a decent spot, I mean. The little bit of jimping here on the handle helps with the grip. You've got a front finger choil, a bit of a divider, and then your other 3 fingers go back there. It's quite comfortable. It is a little bit thick for a kid's knife, gear for kids. But I found it to be very comfortable and didn't really get hot in the hand. Just a little bit. I would have liked, this area up here just to be slightly more rounded. Maybe it's just my hands, but it gets a little bit hot right here on the back of my thumb after a long period of use. But then, you just put your thumb up here like you do for most hard cutting, and that's totally solved. So that's the basics of the knife. I'm going to talk more about the sheath now. We've got a Kydex sheath. They got their name branded on there. I don't mind that. It's one of those fold-over sheaths, taco-style sheaths. One of the really good things about these is they put the push-off on it. So many knife makers don't do this part. They just sort of cut it around. That is excellent for putting your thumb behind, and you give it a little bit of a push. You squeeze with your fingers, and you push with your thumb, and it releases it. So it's a very safe way to get at your knife. If you've got to grab it and pull, or some of the Schnitzel knives, they have diagrams of you put the paracord through here, and you pull the paracord, pull that. I don't know. I find that to be awkward. I like that. It's much safer. You can even put your hand there so it doesn't go flying anywhere. And then you take it off and use your knife. That's well made. You've got holes here so you can change the position of this if you want to, or mount something else onto it. So it's got the standard holes. It's the spring tension bottom release for this door. You've got these filler strips that when they're brand new, they don't like to come out very well. There you go. So you can change how big of a belt you're wearing and make this so that it's the belt in here is tight. You can get rid of them all completely or adjust it for whatever belt size you've got. It's very secure. I just don't like how high up on the hip these things wear. It's got a nice convex shape to it, to sort of meld to your body. But I don't like this, how high on the hip it is. But since you've got holes here, you could come up with some other system to mount it up a little bit lower down your leg. So sheath, it's okay. Nothing extra special, but it is okay. Now let's take the handle scales off and show you what it's like in there. You've got these nice big bolts. And yes, these are 5mm. They're metric. They just work great for putting it together. You could put wooden handle scales. If you're a woodworker guy, it's not that hard, or gal, for that matter, no problem, to make your own handle scales. Just use this as a template and make sure that the depth is the same so that your thickness is close. And you could make it that thin if you want to, just not much thicker than this. So if you like thinner handle scales, this can still work for you, and you can use those. And there's the weight reduction in the handle, and it's just well made. That's it for taking it apart. If you need to clean your knife, sometimes if you've got an outdoors knife, you sometimes need to clean in there, especially if you do use it for a little bit of animal processing. You might get some blood underneath there. What I like is they used no adhesive in here at all. They just used these nice bolt systems and put it together that way. So I am very fond of how they put this together. Okay, it's back together. Oh, by the way, one way to use this paracord is you put it around your thumb. You put your thumb through it, put it around the back of your hand, and then you hold it like this. It's a very secure way to hold the knife with the lanyard. That's going nowhere in your cutting. So if your hands are cold or wet and you need a super sure grip, or maybe you're going to do a little bit of light chopping, it's not a long enough blade to do. It's not a chopper, not by any stretch, but that's a great way to hold your knife. Oh, I learned that from Big Monkey channel. I'll leave a link for it down below if you're into outdoors, learning skills for living in the outdoors. It's a great channel. So the knife. So I've done all the testing, showed you all that stuff. Let's go over all the sizes, dimensions, and all those specs. Put that on the screen while we're talking about it. The cutting edge length, 106.4 millimeters, 4.19 inches. Blade length, tip to the closest spot on the handle, 103.2 millimeters, 4.06 inches. The thickness of the blade is 3.94 millimeters, which is 0.1555 of an inch, so well over 1/8 of an inch. The blade depth, the widest point is right here at the heel, 31.1 millimeters, 1.22 inches. How thick is it behind the grind? Well, it's only 0.47 millimeters, 18.5 thousandths of an inch. That helps the slicing a lot. Very well done. The grind angles, this side is right around 23 degrees. This side is right around 21.3 degrees. Just a little bit of variability on there, like about a degree, except for right at the heel, it goes up a couple of degrees. 14C28N, it depends on what I would do with it, but I'd probably do it 20 degrees per side, unless I knew I was just going to be doing lighter tasks. Then I might even go less. So 14C28N is a good budget steel, a very good budget steel. The other dimensions here, the handle length is 119 millimeters, 4.68 inches. The thickness of the handle, 14.6 millimeters, 0.575. There's a lot of folding knives that are thicker than this, so I don't mind that. Maybe not a lot, but certainly some. The handle depth within the grip area, it's biggest right here, be 28 millimeters, 1.1 inches. The grip area, it's 10 centimeters, 4 inches, a little bit over both of those. So it's a full-size handle. The total length of this knife from the tip to the very end of the handle is 222.2 millimeters, 8.75 inches. How sharp was it from the factory? 165 bests. That's quite good. The weight of the knife, 180 grams, 6.4 ounces. You add in the sheath, which is 101 grams, 3.5 ounces, and the total combined system, including the lanyard, is 281 grams, 9.9 ounces. Not bad at all. How much does it cost? White Mountain Knives has it for $83.48 American. You save 10% with coupon code CCE, and that makes it $75.13 American. Price in Europe at Germany, I'll put that on the screen in euros. If you live in the UK or something, buy it from the Germany site. That's the best place to get it. I don't know of any stores in the UK that has this knife, but this is a nice knife. I like the bright orange color, high vis. If you don't like it, you get it in OD green or dye it. You know, buy the orange one and dye it whatever color you can dye it from orange, which isn't that many colors, but you could dye it if you want to. I like this knife. I love the jimping on it. It's big and blocky, and yet it's helpful. The jimping up here on the G10 helps a lot as well. I think it's a really good survivalist style blade. Good for multiple tasks, and very good at many as well. It's not a self-defense knife, but pretty much anything else you want. The fit of the handle, it feels good, it's comfortable, and you know, as long as I'm not gripping like this, it's very comfortable in my hands. Maybe most people would be comfortable with it this way as well. I was just, like I said, uncomfortable when I did extended cutting this way, and just at that one spot right there. It's a strong knife, nice and thick. The tip is strong. It's just a well-made knife. The push-off on the sheath here, that system's very good. The badging on here is not super big. I like that. I wouldn't mind if that was a little smaller, but at least, you know, nice small badging and labeling on here. What's the con? The main con for me on this knife is the belt loop system. Like I said, I like dangle carry or lower on the leg at least. So I really think I need to get into, you know, buying some Kydex and stuff. Actually, I have some Kydex that I own. I've just never done anything. And make a system. I've had some knives, like from Real Steel, where it's got a sheath like this, and then they've got a piece of Kydex, and then a piece of belt, like a seat belt material for the belt loop. Works a little bit like dangle, whereas, you know, there's some freedom. It's lower on the leg. I really, really like that kind of system a whole lot more than this. So, but just that one con, and that's something that you can change. I don't really mind that much. Or you can, you know, send the knife off and get a custom sheath made for it if you want. But usually for a budget knife, people don't usually get custom sheaths made. I like this knife. I like it quite a lot. The designer has hopes to make a premium version of this, but he's just the designer, not the head honcho at the business. His dream is to make it, you know, higher end steel, a premium steel, nice walnut handle with a leather dangle sheath. That's a nice dream to have. But for now, we've got this Kydex version. And remember, that's just a dream for the high-end version. Sometimes dreams come true. We'll find out. So check out Schnitzel Knives. I got their link for their website. They also have right now a water bottle as well. Not available in Canada, though, or North America, I should say. But I like this Schnitzel company. I really like what they're doing. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for sharing it with your friends. Thanks to my Patreon and YouTube members, subscribers, or sponsors, I should say. Thank you very much for the help that you give this channel. And remember, everyone, cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.